Howdy, friends. Welcome to a new project that I am launching along with Manus MacLean, who's joining me right now, any second now. Welcome to Brain Drain Unlimited Foundation YouTube channel. This is what we recently created, and we're going to be using this as a medium to communicate with the rest of the world. We are starting the live streams about immigration to the United States of America. That's the idea behind Brain Drain. We are a group of dedicated volunteers who are helping the refugees from Russia, Ukraine, Georgia, and Moldova find new home in the United States of America. We assist with legal immigration of the best minds that Russia and other countries have to offer to the USA. Welcome. This is our first stream. This is sort of a test. It's going to last for about 1 hour. And I am trying to let Manus in right now. I see a few people in the live stream chat. This is a bit different from my main channel. I did a shout out at Inside Russia, and I see that a few people showed up, the usual suspects, Scott Nesbitt, Larry Barth, howdy friends. So we have live stream chat open right from the start because, not too many people. This is a brand new channel. Currently we have 11 subscribers. Please subscribe. I hope that you will find lots of interesting information. On my channel, I say that my channel, I say that we don't talk about US politics or US issues at Inside Russia, because Inside Russia is about Russia, about the transformation that Russia is going through, about my personal story, and so forth. This is different. This channel and our venture, well, it's not really venture, it's a non-profit foundation. It's aimed at solving issues with immigration. And this is basically what we're talking about right now. So me and Manus are taking the stage, and we want you to invite to the stage as well. If you have something to say, you're welcome to do that. We will discuss U.S. immigration situation, issues, potentials, problems, and so forth. So this is the place. Now, we are opening this discussion now. I see Manus showed up.
Yes.
I've given a brief introduction of what this channel is about and what our mission is about, okay, and that's what we intend to do here. So we are to educate about immigration to America. I mean, everyone knows that the USA is the country of immigrants, and everyone has talked about it, but very few people actually know what's going on. I have faced so many people who simply misinformed about immigration, and every time I try to educate. So this is the place to educate, to discuss, perhaps to create new ideas. Manus, I basically, have made an introduction. Can you please introduce yourself? And I would like to offer this model for our live stream. This one, we'll see how it goes. I would like you, because you know so much about the impact that immigration has on the USA, on the society and the economy. I'd like to ask you to talk a little bit about that, and then I will tell my personal story of how I have faced so many times people misunderstanding what immigration is about. Then we kind of both tell what we stand on, and let's answer questions. We have a few people join the live stream chat, and it's fantastic. So how about that?
So where do I start?
Introduce yourself. This is a live stream. This is number one. This is kind of like a free play live stream. There's no schedule, but let's move forward and see how it goes.
All right. Again, as Konstantin has indicated, my name is Manus MacLean. I am the co-founder for Brain Drain, along with Konstantin, and we look to bring skilled professionals and those with extraordinary abilities to the United States. We are a 501c3 charitable organization, and we are partnered with other organizations that provide additional services and things of that nature. But the goal is to find all those wonderful people that Konstantin keeps bragging about that are stuck outside their countries, and bring them here and let them set up their new lives here. It's a kind of a connecting the dots proposition, because we have shortages here in medical professionals. We have shortages in AI. We have shortages in all across the board. So by bringing them here, they can help us. And obviously, we can help them. And it looks as though Konstantin went offline.
I'm here. It's okay.
You're back.
This is new software, so keep on going. If I disappear for a bit, this is the very first time I'm using this software application called StreamYard. So, I'm not very familiar with that.
Before you cut off, I've said that our mission is basically to connect the dots from. There you go again.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Oh, okay. I said I finished where I said that our mission is to connect the dots from the shortages that we have in the United States to the surplus of refugees in other parts of the world. So that's the end of my introduction.
Well, Manus, when you came to Tashkent to visit us and people of Tashkent Breakfast Club and tell them about immigration, you gave fantastic numbers.
Yes.
A lot of people, and a lot of Americans as well, and a lot of potential potential immigrants treat immigration like this. Okay. And I've heard that so many times from American people. All right, we are Americans. We live in the best country in the world. Okay, we're open to immigration. We welcome you with arms wide open. And this is a favor we're doing to you by allowing you to our country, okay, to use the riches that America has to offer, the opportunities to offer American way of life and so forth. And a lot of people who emigrate to the United States, they kind of feel the same way. Oh, you know what? I've been done a favor. Okay. And when I heard your numbers, and when everyone at Tashkent Breakfast Club heard your numbers, that was like, wow, we never thought of it this way. So I want you to talk about that.
Okay. I don't have those numbers handy right now. I can bring them up on my laptop if necessary. But
Well,
yes,
not
it is.
perhaps in general, not just numbers, but
In general, you have individuals that are coming here, they are working, they are earning, they are purchasing, they are paying taxes. So that enhances our economy to exponentially. Let's put it that way. So it's not that they are a drain on the system, they add to the system. And we're talking about, in some cases, billions, in some cases, even trillions. So over the period of time, when you look at the working life, everybody here has worked or is working. Everybody here is earning money. Everybody here, like me, I'm in a restaurant, and they go to restaurants and whatever they provide, economic input to various endeavors. And again, we have shortages of qualified medical personnel. We have shortages in even in the tech sector. The race now on worldwide is for AI, and we would hope that we would get the talent here that we can win that race. And so, obviously, I'm not really sure what else to say or add to that. But if
I
you have any
like
questions,
when you said that the immigrants earn your pension, something like that.
oh yeah, yeah. I am of that age where I am a you know semi-retired, if you want to call it that. My health care is provided by the taxes that I paid in the past, and others that have paid in the past, and those that are currently paying. And like everywhere in the world, uh, we have too many old people. You know, we
Baby
are not.
boomers.
Yes, the baby boomers was the largest generation. I am at the tail end of that, and probably within the next 5 years, they'll all be retired. So we don't have enough kids to whatever. So the fill-in is immigrants. You know, they're the ones that will take the jobs that we leave. They're the ones that will pick up the baton, if you want to call it that, and move us forward. But yes, their tax revenues pay for Medicare, they pay for the Social Security, they pay for a whole bunch of things, that is necessary.
Okay. I like this very much, and I think it's absolutely true and right on.
Mhm.
My personal story: when I came to the USA, I came as a student, an exchange student. Then I started working, and I worked legally. My visa allowed me to work, and obviously, I paid taxes. Even being at first, I was not immigrant; I was a student. I could work up to 20 hours a week on campus of my university, and on vacation, summer vacation, I could work 40 hours off campus and whatever I wanted, basically any amount, any jobs.
Mhm.
And then I paid taxes all summer long. I was paying taxes, and not much. I wasn't earning much, just a few $100s a week. I worked a lot and I worked hard. And I remember someone was telling me, "Oh, we welcome you and we'll feed you or something like that in the United States. Well, we'll take care of you." I said, "Wait a second. No one is taking care of me. I work. I feed myself. I pay for my housing, and I pay taxes to feed you." That
Yes,
was the turning point when I understood that I actually am not. I wasn't taking from America. I was giving to America. Okay.
yes,
And I just want to emphasize that we at Brain Drain, we are assisting in highly educated individuals from Russia, Ukraine, Moldova, and Georgia and move into the USA illegally. Okay, that's the only way to immigrate, to do it legally in accordance with the US legislation. Okay, whatever people do, they go to Mexico, to the southern border of the USA, and they cross into the USA illegally. That is no. Because back then, they are unaccounted for. Okay, they are absolutely incognito for the society. They do not contribute, well, for the most part, they do not contribute to the society culturally because they can't. They hide,
Mhm.
and all they try to do to work hard. Very, can I say, fringe jobs, bad, like jobs no one else wants to take, and they don't pay taxes. Okay, and sooner or later they get caught. There was a big case a few days ago. A fellow in California, in Napa Valley, was caught by ICE agents, and he turned out to be an illegal alien. He moved to the United States, crossed the border back in early 90s, and he made a career in winemaking. He is a highly respected professional in Napa Valley. He's been awarded different honors by the community, and then he turned out to be illegal alien. Okay, and no matter how long you live in the United States, whatever you do, you get caught sooner or later. Okay, and that's and then you get deported, and that's trouble for you, for your family, and for America as well. So our stand is only legal immigration. We don't even talk about. I know that a lot of people here in Tashkent talked about moving to the USA in any way possible. And some actually did go to Mexico and cross the border, applied for political asylum. I don't know what happened to them, but this is in my eyes, that's big no.
Yes, you're constantly living your life in some type of a jeopardy. But let me just go back to your first job. I mean, you told me the story. What was it?
Well, my first job was, I had a very small job on campus, just a few
Okay.
hours a week. But my first real job was in the summer of '97. I left my dorm. I finished my first year of school, and I got a job sweeping parking lot in Old
Yeah.
Orchard Beach, Maine.
Okay.
I worked at a motel actually, and all I did, I was sweeping the parking lot. The motel
So
was located right on the beach, and the ocean breeze would just blow sand onto the parking lot. So I had a very good job security. By the time I would finish, on one side, I would make it to another side. I would have to go back and start sweeping again. That was my first job.
yes, many of us who have lived in the United States, we go to various resort towns and things of that nature. And if you look, you will see that there are a good number of foreign students and young people, taking these jobs and doing that. And it's just that there's not enough young people or teenagers here in the United States that are willing to do that. They're just simply not willing. So yes, it's not as if you cause the unemployment of parking lot sweepers in the entire state of Maine. You know, it says that this particular place didn't have anybody to do it, so you were willing to do it. Does that sound fair?
Not only fair, that's what happened. Okay, and
Yes.
I tell you
Mhm.
more. We had big problem back in '90s and early 2000s with personnel because Old Orchard Beach is a seasonal town, and
Yes.
there is an insane amount of hotels there, but
Yeah.
most of them close for winter. And Americans simply don't want to come and work as, chambermaids, custodians, street sweepers, things like that, because you only do it for 3 or 4 months and that's it. And they're looking for career jobs that they stay year round.
Yeah.
And we failed to attract American people. We relied a lot on the exchange student. Well, there was a program called Work and Travel.
Yes.
Foreign university students could come to the United States for 3 or 4 months on their vacation and work. And after they were done with work for a couple of weeks, they could travel around the USA. It was called Work and Travel.
Yes.
And it was a lifesaver because, they filled all the positions we couldn't fill with Americans.
I know that the big resort town near me has a permanent population somewhere between 4 and 5,000 people. But in the season, that population, you're looking at 300,000 people at any given time. So there isn't enough teenagers to run all the boardwalk games and things like that. There isn't even enough adults, that are willing or available, to work those particular jobs. And you do need, the hotels are closed during the winter, but then they open up during the season. And you know, that's anybody who's in the United States or has experienced that, has seen that, And guess what? Uh, they buy things, and when they buy things, they're paying taxes. Yeah. So
Not only they buy things, they buy a lot of expensive things. I remember every single student was saving up every penny. And before they left, they would go to a shopping mall and was just get loads of stuff, clothing, jewelry,
yeah,
PlayStations. One guy even bought a car and shipped it to, I think it was Poland or Slovenia or Slovakia. I don't. Well, anyway,
yes,
a Central European country, and yes, they do buy a lot. There's another aspect. They brought a lot of cultural variety, and the locals sought their friendship. They liked spending time together with the European students because they were absolutely different,
hmm
and they brought their culture with them, their habits, their you know their view of the world, and it was incredibly refreshing to just speak to me. Even me, I grew up in Russia, but I met lots of kids from Poland, from Belarus, Lithuania, Latvia,
yeah,
Estonia, and just living next to those people, working with them, teaches you about
Mhm.
their cultures, about their countries. And I think America is incredibly rich in cultural variety. That's another thing I liked
Yes,
about America.
yeah. Uh, there are various neighborhoods. Uh, they tend to shrink over time, but specifically, we have here in Philadelphia, we have a neighborhood that is predominantly Russian and Ukrainian. It doesn't actually grow, and when you look at also New York, it doesn't actually grow because the children, once they grow up and they get their education, they get their jobs, they tend to leave, and then they come back and visit their parents and grandparents in that neighborhood. But as time goes on, those neighborhoods, you know, integrate, throughout the entire nation into the fabric of the nation, and uh, there's just so many. Even on the Russian side, you have it. You have so many contributions on the Polish side, or even the Russian Polish side. Jonas Salk was a Russian immigrant who lived in Poland, because Poland at that time, the part of Poland that he lived in or that his parents came from, whatever. But I think as everybody, if you look in your history books, he's the one that came up with the polio vaccine. And if you look at your history, people were terrified of polio back in the 1930s and 40s and the 50s. And in fact, the campaign that Franklin Roosevelt, it's still on. They called it the March of Dimes, and where people would just take a dime and put it in an envelope and send it to you know that to fund that research. But so we have a lot. You know, the founder or co-founder of Google was born in Russia. You know, uh, WhatsApp, Telegram. These services that we use, they all came from immigrants. Yeah, and I guess I'll end it with this. Every time you go to a grocery store in the United States and that door opens automatically for you, you can thank Albert Einstein, for that. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, you're right on. Right on.
Mhm.
That's 100%.
Yes.
I'm thinking of a format of our discussions. I propose we do it weekly occurrence. Manus, what do you think?
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
I'm fine with that.
I would like to educate people on the issues of U.S. immigration, and not potential immigrants, because I think they're educated enough. But of course, they're welcome too. But mostly Americans, because from what I have seen over the years, very few people in the United States, U.S. citizens, born U.S. citizens, very few people understand what immigration to the USA is all about. Okay, I've heard so many times people talking to me saying, "Oh, you're on a student visa. Oh, you're going to school. Do you like it in America?" Yeah, yes, sure, I love it. I love the country. Why don't you stay there permanently? How would I do that? That was my answer all the time. And I said, "Well, that's easy. Just go and get a green card. Just go apply for one. They'll let you stay. You speak English. You're fine." I saw dozens and dozens of people told me that I could speak English. It means that was my pass into the wonderful, wonderful America. Oh yeah, no, it's no big deal. It shouldn't be that difficult. Okay, well, you're here already. Just go and apply, and they should give you, your documents, things like that. So in reality, it's incredibly difficult.
It should
It's
be that simple, but it's not.
yes, it should be. Yeah, I agree. It should be very
Yeah.
simple. And it should be encouraging for those who can contribute to America to come easily, okay? And it should discourage those who don't want to play by the rules of the country, don't want to speak English, don't want to educate themselves, become part of local community, embrace culture and things like that. That should discourage people like that.
Um,
Unfortunately, see that the immigration system in the USA is, well, I can't say it's broken, but it's it's not effective.
I would say that when you started down in this trend, I was immediately reminded of the great American philosopher Yogi Berra. I don't know if you never heard of him or if you know who he is.
Yogi Bear.
No, Yogi Berra.
Yogi Bear. No, I heard you
Okay,
say a couple times, but
yes, Yogi Berra, not Yogi Bear, was a baseball player. So he played catcher for the New York Yankees during their championship teams in the 1920s, 30s, 40s, whatever. Anyway, he was always attributed to having clever quotes. And the quote is, "No one goes there anymore. It's too crowded."
yeah,
All right.
that's a good one.
Yes. That is the actual situation with our immigration system now. It's too crowded. And as far as there's only so many they allow with family based, they allow as many as as many family members that you have. So you got 10 children, they're all coming. There's no quota on that. Uh, I think there's only quota if you're bringing in a parent. They might only allow you two, but you know, but other than that, there's no quota on the family base. There are quotas on the humanitarian side, which is asylum, and it's very difficult because it's not necessarily that, well, it is difficult, but you have a lot of people trying to get few spots, two little spots. And the same is true with the employment base, which is what we focus in on and whatnot. There's 144,000 that they permit, and it turns out to be a little bit less than 10,000 per country. But we have far too many applicants, for in each of those categories that USCIS is trying to process. And so you do have to have good legal representation. You do have to have good whatever, just to move your particular application along and make sure that it is seen, that it's just not buried in a pile of papers in a corner office someplace. Or it gets denied because that's the easiest thing for the USCIS officer to do, because, that is one less file that he has to work with. Or she. If that makes sense.
It makes perfect sense. I know from firsthand experience how important that is. You have to know what you're doing, and you have to have help, legal help.
Oh yeah. It's not only applicants who make mistakes. USCIS officers make mistakes. So
yeah,
you have to have a mechanism or a thing, and that's where Brain Drain is hoping to fill in, so that we can avoid you making mistakes, and then we can help you correct the mistakes that are made on the other side. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Manus, I suggest we look at the questions and the comments, because this is what me and you, we did a video together. 2 videos,
Yes.
I think. We filmed 2 videos and we uploaded. But do you see the difference between making a video, filming it, and participating in a live stream? When there's actually people, there are 11 people right now watching us, and I think that's incredible result for first live stream. Okay. It's because usually there's no one, 0. But then I made a shout out on my channel, and then quite a few people showed up. So I think this is just grand, and you see that not just me and you, but we have guests. Okay, not even guests, but like participants, and they have questions, they have comments, they bring energy and positive vibes, and that's absolutely fantastic. So I suggest we keep our messages to like 30-40 minutes, and then we involve people. I just want to, before, what do you think?
That's fine with me.
Okay, sounds good. I want to tell a couple personal immigration stories. How important it is to have an attorney. Okay, there's a friend of mine who came to the USA along with me in 1996. He's a medical doctor. Prior to coming to America, he had worked as an ambulance doctor, emergency doctor. We have actually doctors in Russia and Belarus working in ambulances. Okay, so and he had worked at a hospital, so he was around 30, experienced doctor, a few years of experience behind his belt, and then he went to school in Maine, and he obtained master's degree, and after he moved on to Atlanta to work at CDC, Central for Disease Control. And after he applied to become a permanent resident of the United States, and then he was denied for some reason, I don't remember. And then instead he moved to Canada. And in Canada, so it was 2000, perhaps 2001. In Canada, he lived for a very long time, for a couple decades. and he obtained permanent residency, and then he became citizen of Canada. And like 20 years after, he moved to the USA because he fell in love with a girl, an American girl, and he moved in with her on the East Coast. They're living, and we still keep in touch. We're friends, and so he became. He went through a lengthy immigration process in a legal way, in the right way. Okay, so he filed paperwork, was approved, received green card, and now it's time for him to become citizen. He filed for citizenship, and it's also a few steps. It's not as easy as it seems. Oh, just go and get your citizenship. No, it doesn't work like that. They interview you. You have to pass tests and things like that, and that's the final stage. He's just waiting for approval and invitation to give a pledge of allegiance. I think that's how it's called.
Yes.
Promising to be loyal to the United States, and then he received a letter in the mail saying he was denied, and they are revoking his residency because of one tiny mistake he made when filing application some 7 years ago or something like that. Unintentional mistake, not criminal mistake. Not it wasn't a big deal or anything, but he just filled his form in the wrong way, and now he's facing revocation of his permanent residency. He's facing basically deportation. Okay. Great guy, paid taxes, didn't commit any crimes, no felonies, no misdemeanors, clean record. He doesn't even get speeding tickets, for goodness sake. So that's how important to have immigration attorney.
I would recommend a organization that is up and coming, Brain Drain, and tell him to access their a brilliant legal staff, and they'll get it sorted out.
And good people in general, overall.
Yeah. I will tell you that my confidence in our lead attorney, the one I call him, is I've done this work for decades. Let's put it that way. I've done this, before, and I've worked with other attorneys, and if he isn't the best, there's certainly no one who's better. And it's a whatever. And the young man that he has working with him, he's also impressed me with his knowledge and whatever. But this guy, with his experience, and he's at the top of the game. Let's put it that way. I don't know how else to phrase it.
Yes, totally agree with you.
Yeah.
Let's jump to the comments. Scott Nesbitt, thank you for coming. The usual suspect and the pillar of Inside Russia. Well, everyone here is a pillar of Inside Russia because, you are and you came from Inside Russia. So we have Scott, Larry, Pamela. I don't think Pamela has missed one live stream that I did. Always there. Pamela is from Florida. Scott is pretty much the same. Now let me see who else is here. Koshkin Dome from Europe. Okay, so we have a couple questions. So this is a different software. I'm not using this. I don't use it at Inside Russia. By the way, there will be a live stream as usual tonight. It's about how Russia is losing grip on neighboring countries, former Soviet republics. Very interesting developments happening in Russia right now as we speak. So, Scott, thank you so much for asking everyone to hit the like button. Usually moderators do that. So, another question from Scott. Can I ask you, there is no super chat. This channel is not monetized. YouTube has certain requirements for monetization. I think it's 500 subscribers at minimum and something like 2,000 watch hours. used to be 1,000 and 4,000, 1,000 subs and 4,000 hours, but now they halved to make it easier for people to monetize. So we are a long way to go in this channel. We still need like 490, 85, 485 subscribers, and we need quite a few watch hours. So, but we'll get there. I mean, it's not a big deal. Thing is, we're not to make money at this YouTube channel, although money is needed because we're non-profit. We live on donations solely. And Manus, how's it called? 501c corporation?
It's a 501c3.
501c3,
charitable
basically.
organization.
Yeah,
So,
charitable organization. So if anyone donates, then they write off
if he
that
goes
as...
to, yes, if he goes to braindrain.work and sends money that way, he can actually declare a tax deduction depending on his tax status.
Mm-hmm. So there's no super chat as soon as we monetize. There will be a super chat button. But the purpose of this channel, at least as I see it, is to educate, to inform, to encourage, yes, and to lighten up.
Yes.
So Pamela, shy person, curious about U.S. immigration law. Pamela, I don't see you as shy. I mean, you shine inside Russia live streams, but I've never noticed you being shy. I've noticed you shining. So there is a lot to cover, and we're gonna do it once a week, perhaps once in 2 weeks if something happens, you know, because my priority is inside Russia, my main channel. But I really like to educate people on immigration, U.S. immigration, laws, situation, current developments, attitude of people as we see it, and things like that. I would like to be the voice, well, along with Manus, of that.
Yeah, and I would also encourage Pamela, if she has a chance, to go to our website. On the lower right-hand corner, she'll see a little caricature that we call Grumbot. And Grumbot has the USCIS manual memorized. So you can simply ask a question, he'll deliver that answer for you.
Mm-hmm. Manus, it'd be nice to make a link to Grumbot here, saying ask any question on U.S. immigration law, and put a link so people click a link and then get right into the chat bot.
Well, that's entirely up to our tech wizard.
Yes. It's not just me and Manus.
Yes. Go ahead. You can explain our tech wizard. He's the one who developed the Grumbot, as we call it. He also developed another one, and whatever. But that's kind of like for the private use for the attorneys and accredited representatives. Yeah. Every time somebody says link or anything to deal with computers or internet or whatever, my mind just goes blank, and I call our tech wizard, and he just manages to make it appear.
Yeah. There is a statement from Scott, comment from Scott. The USA was built on immigration. That's what made America great. People from all over the world were looking for a better life and freedom. And, you know, Scott, you're absolutely right.
Yes.
Beauty of America that it has no kings, and it treats everyone equally and gives everyone equal opportunities. And this is so rare in today's world, I guess, in the world in general, that it's been like a magnet for people all over the world to come to the USA.
Every one of us is a descendant of a person who was thrown away by their society. You know, if you could not make it in Europe, you were thrown away, and you were treated like garbage. You were thrown away, and they came here, and collectively they built the largest economy, the most powerful military, and I don't even, you don't necessarily whatever, but every now and then I laugh when I see somebody saying, I have a relation to the Queen of England, and whatever. It's like the Queen of England sent you here. Queen of England didn't have room for you there, and it's that's just an example, but that's the reality of the situation, that most of us came from somebody who was discarded by their home country.
Yeah, looking for a better life, basically.
Well, yeah, they were looking for a better life. They were looking for any life, and obviously they were looking for a better life. But those opportunities were just not available to them in their so-called home countries. So,
Okay, so
so they
interesting.
got on a boat and they came here.
Interesting comment from Larry. This morning, I heard that Elon Musk might be deported. Not immigration, but sort of on subject. Well, Elon Musk is a different story. He's an immigrant, all right, and he's integrated into American society quite well, I should say. I used to admire Elon Musk for his innovations and his just grand thinking. My attitude has changed towards him lately, for quite some time. But I think that if this is not rumor, if it's true, if they will start some kind of investigation into him getting citizenship or permanent residency in the USA, I think it would be a political vendetta. So he's an exception. He's not like everyone else. So that's political vendetta.
My take on it is that is there something in his history, in his documentation, as he came here and eventually got legal permanent residency and then citizenship, and there's probably a very good chance that there is. There's a very good chance that there is for anybody that's here. But the reality is that he has more than enough money that he can stretch this out for 60, 70 years. And by then it's a moot point. And I doubt that the justice, they may do it for headlines, but that's about it. If that makes
We'll
sense.
keep our eyes open.
Yes, we'll keep our eyes open.
Scott says, I worked with a few Russians in Lake Placid in a restaurant back in the day. They like to smoke hash.
They still do.
I really know that they like to drink vodka. That I know for sure. Lake Placid, I think it's also a seasonal place, if I'm not mistaken. And
Yes.
3 places I know: Ocean City, New Jersey; Old Orchard Beach, Maine; Lake Placid. And there were other, but I kind of don't remember.
Yeah, I was going to say they still do.
They still do. Yeah, they certainly do. Agree.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, Pamela, summer job, 19 full-time, public library, children's room, $2.65 per hour, 1978. Wow. My first job was 96. Street parking lot sweeper, street sweeper, and I loved it. I think I was making $7 an hour. And then back in 97, it was just fortune in Russia. I was making in one day sweeping parking lot more than I think my both parents combined made in a couple weeks. So imagine that. So I was sweeping parking lot, and I was smiling all the time. I was listening to music, and it was a good time. But it didn't last for long. I think I did it for a couple of weeks.
You got promoted.
I got promoted, yeah, but that story we'll tell next time. Yeah.
Yes.
Larry, how do members gain XP points? Larry, I don't know. I think I'm the only YouTuber in the universe who admits that he doesn't know some things. Everyone is an expert in everything, but not me. I just saw that feature introduced by YouTube literally a couple days ago, and I still don't understand what it means, and I don't understand how people gain XP points. Okay, what I understand is that this is a brilliant move by YouTube because a little off topic. What they're trying to bring into live stream chats is gamification. You know, they want to make it is a game so people are engaged more, they type more, they comment more, and they get more points and they compete with each other. Okay, so it's like a game. Who gets more points? Who's number one? And that's what YouTube is doing. But I don't know how you gain XP points, but we'll figure it out very soon. Okay, so we have Koshkin Dom, usual suspects. Koshkin Dom, I think not just usual suspects here. They're the pillars of Inside Russian. They're like I was gonna say the royalty, but I hate this word. I hate kings. I hate strong men. You know, living in Russia, I got vaccinated, so I don't like that. I should say, well, nobility is a bit better. You know, the pillars of Inside Russia. So Scott, my question is, how can anyone follow immigration these days? I feel ICE can do anything they want because Trump gave the power to take anyone off the street. So sad. Manus, would you like to answer that?
Yeah, I'm not sure what he means by follow, but yes, ICE is been particularly abusive in certain areas. An ICE agent is required by law to have a judicial warrant. That is a little bit different than a administrative warrant. But a judicial warrant is signed by the judge, then they can detain somebody. But the reality is that there's so few ICE agents compared to there's no more New York City police officers than there are ICE agents on the streets, to be honest with you. And but they concentrate in certain areas, and they definitely have abused their authority. And but I'm sure that they will be held accountable. And you know, that's a temporary thing that we're going through, and hopefully we'll get through it.
I personally have faith in America and American people, and obviously it's really a difficult time right now, but I have faith that Americans will get through it.
Yeah, I think the main thing is that the main thing is that keep in mind less than 25,000 Americans went to see the parade in Washington D.C. on Trump's birthday or Flag Day on the 14th. Over 5 million, and some people are saying 7 million, took to the streets and said, "No kings. You know, we do not want a king in this country. We don't want anything resembling that." So the real numbers, when you look at it, is just astounding how Americans have simply said, you know, we don't necessarily care about conservative or liberal or anything like that, but we certainly do not want a king. That's universal. everybody does not want a king.
I'm not sure what it is about. However, at the top of the live chat page has crown and number. In my case, it is 75. There's a crown number 3 on my comments. Well, Larry, we're gonna find out sooner or later. I don't I don't know what it means and how it works. So
We'll have to talk to our tech wizard.
I feel truth and the justice of America is dying out these days, which I feel people of America losing these freedoms. Well, from what I understand, the system of political checks and balances is still working, and you can look at it this way: it's dying. I'm not looking at it this way. I am seeing it as difficulties, temporary difficulties that I hope that American people will take charge and just get through this stuff, and America will shine.
I think you have to look back on certain things that we had a president who came in with the Affordable Care Act, and it was highly unpopular. But then we had another president who said he wanted to take it away, and the people just gathered up and said, "No, you're not taking it away. Yeah, we don't like it, but unless you come up with something much better, then you're not taking this away." And I think that's a lot of things that is also in the works, where when the government, and I don't care which government it is, when they start to overstep their bounds, as I said, 25,000 went to Washington D.C. to celebrate. 5 to 7 million went out in the street to protest. So I think I find that to be extremely.
Elder Girl has a channel and she doesn't understand the XP points either. You know what? No worries. It's going to be explained sooner or later. Larry Barth, 1974, worked at the A&W for 165 an hour. Good money in the day, especially at 15 years old. You probably were feeling like I was feeling back in 97 when I was sweeping parking lot. I was excited. It was excellent money. It was great. Yeah, fantastic stuff. Okay, Manus, we are at 1 hour.
Yes.
So I suggest we wrap it up. And I invite everyone, first of all, if you have anyone who is in need of some kind of assistance with immigration, give them a shout and, lead to our channel, lead to the website, braindrain.org. That's pretty easy. And please come back in a week. Manus, we're gonna add our own gamification somehow. We're gonna not just gonna be talking about boring stuff, immigration laws and things like that. We're gonna come up with something funny, something interesting. So I have to think about it. Perhaps personal stories, perhaps bring someone to the channel. Perhaps, you know what would be a good idea, to bring potential applicants of Brain Drain.
Sure.
So
tell their stories.
We have a long way to go ahead of us. So we'll be working hard on making this happen. I have enjoyed.
I would also say that anybody who's interested in getting involved can also go to that website, and don't worry, we'll find something for you to do.
Jill, thank you for showing up. We're wrapping up, unfortunately. We're gonna do that every week for 1 hour. So perhaps next Tuesday. I might take a few days off. I have some personal thing coming up next week. I'll be present every day this week. Tomorrow I'm doing an interview with Piotr Kurzin Geopolitics. Then Thursday will be Silicon Curtain. So Tuesdays are good days for me to actually live stream here. So I don't know.
right.
We'll think about it, Manus.
Yes. Yes. All
Okay,
right.
please
Very good.
subscribe to Brain Drain if you haven't done so. So it's a good place to find truth about immigration.
All right.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much. We will talk to you soon. Thank you, Manus. Thank you, everyone.
All right. Bye now.
Bye bye.